here's a challenging question for you guys. What if you met your soulmate, your perfect match, while committed to someone else? Oof. Well, that is the question Hollywood's new movie, What If, wants to know.
I'm gonna give you my number. We should hang out.
Yeah.
My boyfriend will be worried about what happened to me. So, friends?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Friends. Is this always how you make friends? Like it's a business deal?
Yeah, actually, it's just my style.
All right, so here with us today is a relationship expert to talk more about the difficulty of the situation that this movie prevents. So please help us welcome Roy Biancalana, of course, from coachingwithroy.com. Thanks so much for being here. You know, this actually kind of reminds me of The Notebook. How possible is it for two people to be in love with two different people?
Yeah, the word friends, you know, the ultimate F word in relationships, you know.
I know, right?
Terrible.
Yeah, being in love with two people, it just always makes me kind of wonder what's really happening. But it's kind of a fun premise.
What advice would you give for anyone that is supposedly going through something like this? If they're trying to decide between two people, what do you tell them?
Well, it wouldn't be very popular. What I would say would be to actually admit what's going on and bring it out in the open and expose it and begin to talk and discover what you really feel and what's really going on.
And how damaging is that if they are honest, right? That's a hard thing to do.
I'd be so nervous to do that.
Well, yeah, it could mix it up. It just depends on what you really want for your life and what you're really committed to being, whether you want to play games. You know, like when I deal with relationship stuff, there's only two basic tracks. You're either going to figure out how to play the game better or you're going to figure out how to move more from authenticity. And it's a big choice.
And what do you think about, would you say that they're not really in love if they are saying that they're in love with someone else? Does that mean that their current relationship really isn't worth anything or worth much?
Well, it might say the current relationship is lacking. A whole discussion about what it means to be in love is always interesting because chemistry can be misconstrued for actual, mature, committed love. And usually when you first meet someone, all the sparks are there and you think that's love, and it's not necessarily.
Sure, a lot of times it's like a new relationship and you're kind of feeling all that excitement. What would you say to people who are actually trying to decide? Like, how do you decide? There's so much on the line with the current relationship, but you feel all these exciting things with the new one.
Well, what's kind of funny is my clients are usually people that are single, that are trying to find someone.
Okay.
So the idea of I've got too many people to love is like, can I have one of them? You know, why hog them all yourself?
Come on.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to pretty much tune into yourself and really find out what you want and where you're going with your future and see which person fits with you better.
That's a hard thing to do. What do you think in all of your years of coaching, what's the most common problem that you see couples facing today?
I would say, well, for couples, it would be would be concealing things rather than revealing. It's like they have lots of thoughts and lots of things happening and they're not really talking about it.
Interesting. I know we were doing a story, I think you did it, that like so many couples, you know, 1 out of 4 are involved in cheating or some sort of like not telling the truth about money.
Social media things and little things
what is really the key for communication with couples then, like in situations like this or something else? How can we communicate better?
Well, it starts with the commitment to saying, I want to be open and be honest and not have secrets going on. Once you do that, it gets pretty easy. But a lot of people are either afraid of facing what their real feelings are, what it might mean for their finances going through a divorce or with kids. And so it can get very complicated if you want to kind of play that game.
Sure, a lot of difficult problems. You know, what's the craziest thing you've ever heard?
Yeah, you must have heard some crazy stuff.
Exactly.
Oh, it's things I've done. I mean, I tell people I tell people all the time. I coach people, and all I say is just don't do what I did.
Oh,
so
wow.
I've pretty much made every mistake you can make, and I wrote about it in my book. And
you did. Okay, tell us more about your book.
Yeah. What's the name of
Well,
your
my book is called Relationship Addiction, a memoir.
Wow.
And it's really about that you complete me mindset, you know, that Jerry Maguire thing. And it's I need to find someone to make me happy and meet all my emotional needs, and I'm empty without love, and it gets into all kinds of drama, and I was guilty of all that. So we women were bad news for me. It was like, I thought I had to have some woman to make me feel like a man, and oh God, that was a disaster.
That is what's funny, and a lot of people say you have to make sure that you're complete with yourself before you can start adding on. Another person shouldn't make you complete.
Right.
You gotta be like cool
one
on
whole
your
person,
own.
one whole person, then you have a chance.
Yeah, that's really cool of you though to be so open about everything. What would you say, what is the biggest mistake that you've made then that you've learned the most from?
was really not being aware of what was driving me in relationship, what was making me go from woman to woman to woman, and thinking that a woman had something that I lacked.
Wow.
That was the biggest thing that created all the drama and, you know, we
Yeah,
could talk.
Oh, you just solved everything for me right there.
There you go.
Did you? Are you taking notes?
I'm taking
You writing
notes.
this down?
I need this video later, please.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I'm open for
All right.
business.
Well, thank
Cool.
you so much. So
Thank
it's
you.
such a pleasure. CoachingWithRoy.com, and of course, What If is in theaters very soon, so check it out.